guys that they sign. You got to give a lot of credit to those guys. They've done a great job, and the talent that they've brought to this organization for sure. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited about this team. This is the most excited I've been about a season in a long time. I'm just looking forward to winning.
Ronnie, you've been on a number of different teams, varying qualities, different competitive situations. How has that framed the way that you look at the game and the things you contribute to the team that you're on?
Yeah, it's helped out a lot. I've been in a lot of great situations, a lot of winning teams, but I've also been on the opposite side of the spectrum as well. So, I've seen winning attitudes. I've seen losing attitudes. I've seen, and everything in between. So coming here is definitely a winning nature here, which, excites me a lot. But, yeah, it does help. It does help having that experience of going from team to team throughout my career.
Ronnie, with the type of players that Russ and Victor are, what do you think of those two paired together in the backcourt, what that's going to be like?
I think it's going to be exciting. You got two explosive, dynamic guards on the floor at the same time that can change the game defensively and offensively, which normally you just have one guy that can maybe do one or the other. But you have two guys that can change the game both sides of the floor, and that's special. And they're both selfless guys. And, like I said, I'm probably more excited than you guys are to see that work and be able to cheer those guys on and be on the floor with them as well. So
Russell is known for being very competitive. A couple of years ago, you were teammates with another kind of competitive guy, Kobe Bryant.
Absolutely.
Kind of compare those.
Very similar. Very, very, very similar. Very methodical about their approach. And it's very it's kind of special to see, Russ. Like I said, that's new to me. I didn't know that about Russ until I got here. He's very special in that aspect for sure, and I didn't know that. So to see him and his approach, his mindset day to day with the way he works, it's a lot like Kobe, So hats off to those two guys because, they're unique guys.
You mentioned leadership, son. How that's one of your roles. That's kind of a formula this organization had going back to Kevin Ollie, Well Ivy,
Absolutely.
Derek Fisher. Is that something that you really are going to focus on? Is just taking that responsibility that some of those guys before you are really kind of trying to lead by example in the locker room, and maybe not even as much on the court?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just going to be myself, man. I'm not going to force, any of my personality onto anyone. I'm just going to be myself and be the player I've been in locker rooms and on the floor my entire career. And thankfully, it's worked out for me. I just want to help the team win. That's really my main. I know that's cliche, but it's really my main goal. Is not to come to an organization of this stature I don't want to bring them down. You know what I'm saying? I want to keep everything on the up and up, and hopefully something that I can bring day to day will help us have success.
We have time for one more.
Earl Watson was a guy who vouched for you in Phoenix. What was your relationship like with him? Did he tell you anything about coming here since he spent some time here?
Absolutely. Earl Watson is a brother of mine. Just so happened he wanted to be my head coach last year. We were teammates in Utah. And he's a guy that I go to for advice every once in a while. And, when he found out I was coming here, he was definitely, happy for me. Of course, he would have liked me to probably stay, around him in Phoenix. But, he understands the choice I made. And, he loved it here for sure. So he was definitely good advice for me. All right, thank you, guys. All right.
those?
Well, we're ready for questions, guys. Go ahead.
Billy, what have your conversations been like this week with Russell in regards to what his role is going to be going into this season?
Well, I think the one thing, for Russell and even just communicating with him, even going back to last year, is I think Russell's all about the team. And I think his role in terms of not just about him, but everybody, our team collectively, working and trying to build an identity, working and building, on our system. And I think he obviously takes great pride in being a leader to help facilitate that. But I don't think it's necessarily been about, Russell and his role. I mean, Russell's going to do what Russell does, and he does it at a very high level. But it's really more about our team and how we're going to progress moving forward together as a group.
What do you need from the team around Russell to make this an easy transition for him or an easier transition?
Yeah, I just really believe it's always been about our team and about us collectively as a group and how we progress and how we continue to build and move forward. Russell's obviously a guy that's been in this league for a long time, and he's played at a very, very high level for a long time. And I think from a leadership standpoint, what you want to be able to do is make the people around you better and compliment them. And I think the players around them have got to be able to compliment him. So I think developing and building, an identity, a system, a style of play that we can kind of continue to work towards during the course of the year. We obviously have, some new players. And with those new players, that kind of that chemistry playing together, some of those things will take time. But we got a great group of guys. I really have enjoyed being around the guys that were not here last year and, getting a chance to spend some time with them during the off season. And I think we have really, really good, high-quality character people. And I think going forward, will give us an opportunity to build their connection as it relates to playing with each other.
There's a lot of curiosity about the pace of play with Kevin gone. When Kevin was here, there was a lot of opportunity for him to do some one-on-one or to time slow it down, although you did run a lot. How would you address the pace issue and the possible change?
Well, I think we always want to play with pace. I think the one thing from a coaching perspective is you always have things I think you value that are important regardless of personnel. We would like to push the pace and the tempo. I think last year in transition we were one of the better teams in terms of efficiency. Hopefully that can continue and that can become part of our identity in terms of how we play. But I think because of the speed and the quickness and the athleticism of the group, I really believe we can be a very good running team.
Coach, against Victor last year, what do you see him bringing to this club?
Well, this is probably one of these recruiting situations in when he was in high school. Playing the power forward spot, I recruited Victor a little bit, and he'll tell you I made a mistake because I didn't offer him a scholarship. It probably was a huge mistake. But I think the thing with Victor is he's a great guy. He's obviously, played a lot since his rookie year in Orlando. I think Victor is looking to try to come in and contribute and help any way he can. Certainly the thing that jumps out at you right away is just his motor, his energy, and the way he competes. And I think defensively he's a guy in the backcourt that gives us a really, really another solid perimeter and defender. And I think his game offensively, just being in the league and playing as much as he's had the opportunity to play early on in his career, he's continued to develop and evolve as an offensive player.
Billy, obviously.
Two starters from last year's team. What are you looking for in your starting lineup as you go through training camp?
Well, one of the things I want to do is not necessarily pass any judgment on anybody, because some of these guys I have not coached before and I've seen them on tape, but how they fit in and how they all complement each other. So the one thing I do like is I think we have flexibility. I think we have length and size and physicality in our front court. I do think that we can, with the way Andre has evolved as a player, is maybe do some different things with him in terms of size lineups, his flexibility. But in terms of the lineups right now, I really haven't really spent much time, because I don't want to do that going in where you have, Sabonis, is new, and Joffrey is new, Ersan is new, Victor's new. You have a lot of new guys, and I think just to come in without giving those guys a chance to play and compete in training camp, and that's what training camp's for, to see how it all works together, how guys complement each other, and then you got to look at, second unit, how you're going to sub and those kind of things. So that would be probably something in training camp and through the preseason we had a chance to evaluate.
Do you anticipate experimenting, especially the first early months of the season, experimenting with those lineups?
I think you have to do some of that. I know last year I tried to do some of just looking at different things. I think you want to do that, but with that group, you want to certainly, when you do that, play to an identity. But I think you'd want to at least feel like, as a coach, you're exhausting the whole roster and looking at a lot of different things and keeping guys engaged. And I really believe in the process of going through a season. Everybody plays a really important role in different points in time in the year, and I think being able to keep guys engaged. And I think I made a comment last year, about a Nick Collison or an Anthony Morrow. Like, I always respected and admired their ability to stay ready, maybe when they weren't playing for a period of time, and then they got injected back in there. So I think keeping the roster in terms of the flexibility of, looking at different things. And I'm sure it's all going to change, from here to there. There's things that we changed, last year, in terms of rotations and substitutions. I mean, our starting lineup played pretty consistent, but just, trying to look at different lineups and different things. And, we'll have to do some of that through the preseason and do that maybe some inside the year just to see if we can get a full complement of guys playing together and how that looks.
Billy, you guys have a lot of players who kind of are either primarily offensive players or primarily defensive players. How do you, as a coach, manage your rotations to kind of ease that so that lineups are even and not too lopsided on one side of the floor?
Well, that's something, no question, you got to take a look at in terms of how do you have balance, because to your point, you could come off in the second unit and you could be in a situation where you may be an offensively heavy team, or you could be too defensively heavy. So those are the things I think we'll have to figure out in terms of the balance and the rotations and some of those things. I do think our roster's got a lot of flexibility. I like our guys a lot. I like their disposition, their attitude. I like the way they've worked this summer. I like their openness, in terms of coming into some of these guys a new situation and being excited about being here and the opportunity to be here. And then hopefully, collectively as a coaching staff, we can continue to help those guys grow and develop and evolve. And, we can put those guys in positions, because that's the most important thing, is putting those guys, all of our players, in positions where they can take their skill set and they can utilize their skill set and be effective and be productive.
Shooting's going to be a question with this team with the loss of Kevin and Serge and even Deion Waiters. Do you see upside in guys like Victor and even Kyle? Kyle had a down year last year coming into this season in terms of their shooting from the perimeter.
Well, we got to keep continuing to work, at that. But one of the things I think you want to do from an identity standpoint is certainly we'd like to play with pace and get up and down the floor. I think the idea of attacking the paint and being aggressive, trying to attack the paint. But I feel confident that if we can generate good shots from the perimeter, if we can continue to have our work with our guys and the amount of time and effort our guys have put in to trying to get better. I look at a guy like Andre, how much he's improved just over his career shooting the basketball. But that will be something that, we'll need to continue to work to build confidence in all those areas, offensively. And I think hopefully through a system we can do that to develop the kind of confidence where those guys feel really good about shooting the basketball.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned Andre evolving. In what ways has he evolved most, and in what ways does that help your team?
I think, when last year started, I think everybody pretty much looked at Andre as being this defensive stopper, and he's certainly great at it. And he's worked really, really hard in the offseason because he has gotten corner threes, and he has shot the ball better from behind the line, from behind three. I thought as the playoffs unfolded last year, he did a little bit more, as it related to scoring and finding opportunities to be effective without necessarily having to totally rely on his game of being a spot-up three-point shooter. So he's handled the ball better. That's gotten better for him. I think he feels more comfortable and confident offensively. He's put forth effort, like I said, in that area. So I think it's just him continuing to grow, offensively, and trying to put him in situations where, he can slash to the basket, he can cut, he can get out in transition, he can take his, open corner threes, he can put the ball on the floor, some and attack the rim. But I really have seen a lot of growth in him.
Billy, styled defensive personnel this year than in the past with Serge and Kevin gone. What should we expect to see out of the defense this year, just from a style and philosophy standpoint?
Well, yeah, I've always believed that it's got to be played collectively as a group. We got to play collectively. For us, being a good defensive team is something that we're going to have to put a great effort into, starting tomorrow, to build an identity and a defensive identity. And it's not so much necessarily one person. I think it's a collection and a group of all of us being committed to doing those things. And there's so many things with defense that it evolves from. It evolves from getting back in transition. It evolves to getting the ball stopped. It evolves from, keeping the ball out of the paint, finishing off possessions with rebounding. But the only way you're able to do all those things, you got to do them collectively. And we've got to, as you want to play unselfishly and collectively on offense, I think you have to do the same thing defensively. You've got to play collectively and together on the defensive end.
Coach, given the changes in the offseason, what do you see changing in the offense to make up for some of the scoring that you've lost and try to compensate for a lot of that?
Like I said earlier, I think we've got to try to look at our personnel and try to utilize the personnel and put the personnel in positions where those guys can play to their strengths and to their skill sets. We have some unique players. If you look at our front court, Steven and Enes are big and strong around the basket, rebound and offensive rebound, and have gotten better. Both guys, scoring from the low post. Ersan is a terrific three-point shooter. He gives you that floor space and a guy that can shoot the ball. Joffrey is another guy that can step and face up and put the ball and shoot the ball a little bit. So we have a lot of different things. So when you look at all those parts and different skill sets, you want to create a system and an identity that's going to be able to take advantage of those guys' individual skill sets so they can be successful. So, that encompasses a lot of looking at film, watching those guys play, evaluating those guys as player, putting them in situations that you feel like they can be productive in. And then through the offense, can we collectively as a group make each other better? Can we find the open man? Can we generate good shots? Can we generate shots that guys feel very, very comfortable taking and making? And I always think anytime your personnel changes at all, and even from year to year, you're going to have a defensive system and philosophy and identity, but I always think that offensively you have to evolve based on your personnel. And when your personnel changes, you just can't be like, okay, this is our system, this is the way we're going to play, and this is all we're going to do, and it doesn't make a difference who's in or out of it. You want to really think about how can I best maximize this player that he gets a chance to utilize what he does very, very well.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Russ, heading into this year, what are your expectations and what you want to see from your squad?
Well, it's just to play, man. I think I have fun. I think the most important part when you play basketball is you want to have fun. I think that's the biggest thing for our team. Just make sure guys have fun, embrace the moment.
Russ, what are your expectations personally? I mean, obviously the situation is much different. What do you hope to accomplish this season in terms of your leadership, in terms of what you're going to do on the court, in terms of production?
Win. The main focus is to win the championship every year, and that's what I'm going to try to do on both sides of the ball. leadership-wise as well, but just try to come in and find ways to help our team be able to win the championship.
Hey, Russ, having a relationship with Oladipo, Jordan Brand-wise, did you all have any relationship before, or was this the first encounter this offseason that you had with him, training with him?
Very little before, nothing too serious, but he's always been a good dude. And now I have an opportunity to be able to work out and get a chance to know him a little bit personally. It's been good thus far, and it's going to be some great things.
Russell, even going back to UCLA, you've never been the primary focus of the team for a full season. How do you see that working out, and is that something that you want to embrace?
I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm going to just continue to do what I've been doing, come in and try to get better, lead our team.
Russell, a lot of fans are excited about the possibility of you and Oladipo playing together on the court. What dynamic do you think you two can bring other than just the sheer athleticism?
Defensively, I think we can be the best defensive backcourt in the league, just because we're able to do different things at our size and using our length and our speed, and I think that's the biggest part of it.
Russ, what goes through your mind when you see the situation in Tulsa? It's obviously pretty close to here. And then also your thoughts on some of the stands that people like Colin Kaepernick are taking right now.
I mean, I think it's very important. First, more importantly, I think a lot of people don't realize the families of all these young men, their mothers, their brothers, sisters, uncles. I think it's very important that we understand how important, the families feel throughout the situations. And me, being an African-American athlete and having a voice, I think it's important that, I make a stand and know that something has to change. I think, I don't have an answer. Obviously, nobody has an answer. If that's the case, we would have been fixed it. But I think it's important that, we try to figure out what we can do to help improve the things that's going on.
Russell, you seem to thrive when playing with that big lineup of Steven Adams and Enes Kanter. As the point guard, is that a lineup that you prefer to play with?
I play whoever's on the floor. I think we have a lot of group of guys that can play in numerous positions, different size lineups, different situations. And my job is to make sure that they feel comfortable, make sure those guys are comfortable in those situations.
Russell, back to the idea of protests just real quick. Are there challenges you face as an athlete trying to balance activism and just who you are?
I think there's challenges in every aspect of everything. I think for me personally, me growing up in inner city, being able to see different things on a night in and day in and day out basis, that hit home for me. Just being able to see the different things that's going on globally and get an opportunity for other people across the world to be able to see it. And now I think it's getting to a point where obviously there's something that needs to be changed on that aspect, and I'm gonna use my voice as much as possible to be able to relay that message.
Russell, you and a couple of your teammates already have kind of used your voice in that way you're talking about on Instagram and that kind of stuff. Once the actual season starts, like NBA players have been, especially like this generation, is pretty politically active. Like, how do you see players around the league kind of being outspoken about this in a different way?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think obviously some players feel differently than others just because I think based on how people were brought up, where they were born, how they were raised, a lot of things comes into play when you start talking about political views and different things that are going on around the country. But I think different guys may stand up, some may not, but, it'd be interesting to see.
Russell, how does it feel going into your first camp without Kevin around?
I mean, it's definitely different. It's not the same. We not just missing Kevin, missing Deion, Serge. I've been with Serge the same amount of time. So it's different. You got different guys, but I'm happy, man. Happy, ready to start camp with the new guys and embrace the moment.
Do you anticipate there being sort of a transition period where guys have to get used to the idea?
I mean, I think any change, you got to get used to making a transition. When we got a new coach, we had to get used to the transition. I think any change, you had to get used to it, but we'll get it done.
Anyone else for Russ? Right in the front.
Russ, I'm sure you don't want to be asked this question, but recently Kevin was asked if you guys were still cool, and he said you're still cool. Do you agree with that?
I haven't talked to him.
Anybody else? We've got 2
Two more for Russell then.
Russ, are you the third stash bro?
The who?
The third stash
I don't
bro.
have no mustache for you, buddy. All you see in here is 27 years. That's it. Never shaved in my life, buddy.
Russell, this might be a broad question, but how do you want this team to play?
I want the team to play how they want to play. I mean, it's not totally up to me how we play. Guys, we have to adjust to how guys play. My job is to adjust how Steven, Dre, those guys have gotten better. You have to be able to adjust to the team you have, adjust to, night in, night out basis on how you want to play. Maybe want to play fast some nights. They want to play slow. I think it all depends on the game, the situation, and who's on the floor.
Thank you, Russell.
Yeah.
Everybody had a good summer? That's all right.
Anthony, we haven't talked to you since Kevin left for Golden State. What was your initial reaction to Kevin's departure?
I think like everybody else, just shocked initially, but after a while, you just get used to it. It is what it is. So we're really looking forward to like moving forward. We had a good time bonding in LA, working out. A lot of new faces, but a lot of guys that are quote-unquote thunder guys. So I feel like we're in the right direction. We're in good space right now. And, guys are very motivated, highly spirited, so can't wait for camp.
When you see news of what's going on in Charlotte right now after the death of Keith Scott, I mean, how does that make you feel?
I mean, obviously, I'm sad that being in my own personal city. It's a very unfortunate, sad situation and a sad, unfortunate time we're in right now. But it really hit home with me with it being Tulsa and the next day Charlotte. So, it's just something we just got to continue to pray and, continue to try to find the right answer, a medium, because right now it's kind of all or nothing. So, just praying for my city and praying for Tulsa and everywhere else.
With the lack of three-point shooting, do you see your role expanding on this team?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. It is. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do in terms of, what I need to do, my job to help the team. So, obviously, three-point shooting is something that, I'm known for, and that's what I do. But also just being able to stay on the floor defensively and also just continue to try to be a better and better leader, by example and vocally.
Back to what's going on right now around the country, with Colin Kaepernick and the protests that he's had. NBA players traditionally are not too shy about speaking out about social topics. Do you anticipate NBA players to do a demonstration or anything of that nature?
I don't know what other guys are going to do. Obviously, I'm not there with those guys. I don't know what's going on in people's heads. But, like I said, man, it's an unfortunate time right now. And, I've been outspoken about it, obviously. But, it's something that, as a country, we got to come together on and something we got to figure out because, like I said, it's either peaceful or it's rioting. It's no really in between right now. And, if you got a voice and you have a stage, and you feel like expressing yourself, I totally understand that. And that's just what it is right now.
You've been around Victor now a little bit. How have you seen him fit in with the team?
He's great. I was talking to him actually on the way here, and just talking about him actually being here says a lot about who he is character-wise, on and off the court. And he's very excited to be here, and it kind of reminds me of when I first signed here. I was just the feeling of being wanted and feeling welcome is great. So I think that he's really embracing that right now. I think he's gonna do a great job, man. He's a special player. Look good so far. So he's just ready to compete.
Anthony, how much have you been in contact with people in Charlotte? Just calls, texts? What's the mood of people you know there? What's it been like?
It's nonstop. I'm checking on my mom, my dad, all my family, my cousins giving me updates. It's yesterday. It was better last night in terms of all the turmoil, but I've been in constant contact with all of my family. So it's just got to keep a close watch on it, and praying that this doesn't happen anywhere else.
With KD being gone, shots are going to open up. Talk about what you envision that what might happen for you.
Like I said, just trying to put myself in the right position, just to get open for guys and spread the floor, no matter what that means. Even sometimes being a decoy, whatever it means for me to stay on the floor and be able to help the team out. Obviously we got two guys that can really get in the paint whenever they want to, and Victor and Russell. And it's just about being available for those guys and making sure that I'm open and ready to shoot.
You talked about being outspoken. As an athlete, do you feel like there are limitations that come with how much you can say and do, given the fact you're part of a team and league and all that?
I mean, I don't know about when you say limitations. Like, it all depends on that person. I feel like, if you're using your stage and you're using your voice in the right way, and it's motivating people and it's helping people, and it's actually, kind of helping towards being positive with the situation, I think that, you can never go wrong in that.
He should be our city. That's true. Yeah, let's go. Do you guys have media guides? No, we don't. Thank you. Appreciate it. Do you have a media guide? You don't want? Anyone else leave one? Go on. Here you go. Go on. I haven't seen him once. Also, is it supposed to be announced who's handful of players coming in? Yeah, you can. Okay, good. So you can do that because I don't want to talk. No, you got it.
I'll let you step in. No, you're the one that needs it's experience in a new job, so I'm gonna let you do it.
Then I was like, I hope my phone doesn't ring.
She said it was nice job.
Is that what she said?
I looked at that roster. Holy crap, we have a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Everyone's gone.
she hasn't like responded to me.
Who?
Whoever I'm sending this to. Should I like double check that she's eating?
I wonder. I'll ask Shelby when she comes back.
Okay. I didn't CC that one girl. Should I start doing that? I wasn't even thinking about it. So I'll just look to my notes. Is that other email that she gave us?
Oh, maybe. I don't understand why mine wouldn't send. I tried it from a different email too, and it still wouldn't.
Too big?
This phone honestly sucks so bad.
Is it the new one?
No.
Oh. She updated them?
Yeah.
That's what I've heard this before.
Yeah, it's awful.
I didn't update mine. She got it. listening to the whole thing, I was like already like feeling the dread. I was like, oh, I don't have to worry about that. Did you see that Steven came up to the Pittsburgh game and started on the stadium? Did you see that tweet? Like, some really drunk guy was like walking over the stadium. I took that video with him. What's up? You all right?
I have
You never have to worry about that. Yeah, I did the same thing, and I saw like Roberson, so they put players back. I didn't realize this was
Hi everyone.
First of all, Joffrey, jeez Louise. First of all, welcome to Oklahoma City.
Thank you.
Second, last year you went through a season where you had a good amount of injuries. I mean, you had a facial thing and then you had a back. Was that a frustrating season for you in terms of your health?
No, not really. You know, I don't miss any games with the fascial injury, and with the back injury, I missed like 10 games. So it's not that long.
You're coming from a team in Denver that had a log jam in the front court, had guys that were in front of you. You're also coming to a team now that has a lot of guys that are competing for spots. Is that something that you're willing to do, is compete for a spot and you want to battle for a spot?
Yeah, you know, it's NBA. There is always a lot of players in every team, so I guess you always have to win your spot.
How's the interaction with the guys here so
pretty sure.
No, she hasn't said. She said she would, but I haven't gotten it. Who has? Roll over in your grave. She said it's about 5 people before it's done. But I do she liked him blue for Thursday. Oh, Shelby did? And so did you, Jeff.
They kicked the shit out of Shelby's and me and mine. And then, well, because my law degree, I probably get knocked out. But without that, they kicked the shit out of your resume. Like, I have a good studies. All those people multiple years.
What's been the message from Coach Donovan on what your role is going to be with the team?
So far, we have a couple of conversations. Obviously, when I came for the physicals right after the trade would happen, and I want to be straightforward with him as far as how they see me as a part of the team, and he's kind of tried to explain himself as far as he see me part of this team, kind of moving forward. That I will be much helpful because stretching four just kind of open up the floor for the players we have here. And I think when I see myself in here, it's always kind of bring that energy because some days you're not gonna have you're gonna have those nights when shot not gonna go fall for you, not gonna go in for you. But it's a lot of those things you can do in a basketball game. And it's I remember myself, it's always just play hard no matter what and bring a lot of energy.
Serge Ibaka was a guy that provided that stretch forward, bringing his game out to the three-point line. Is that something that you want to bring to the team, your three-point shooting?
I never compare myself to some other players, but obviously everybody have strengths and different things in the way they play basketball. And so far I play like I said, just give the ability to stretch the floor and be consistent with my three-point shot. Just kind of give room for guys who operate, especially Russell, with his speed and ability to pass the ball. I think it's going to be really effective.
Ersan, as an opponent to Russell Westbrook, what were your impressions of Russell Westbrook as an opponent, and now in the short time that you've been teammates, have your impressions changed at all?
I mean, he's one of those guys who's playing hard no matter what, and obviously remember play against him and against Oklahoma Thunders. You always have to expect they will play tough with a lot of energy and never give up. And obviously be in my situation, try to guard them in the pick and roll defense. It's almost impossible, and hopefully we, including myself, kind of try to build on it. If they have some mismatch situations, he can explode, and he can beat whatever his guy is gonna switch on him.
There's been a lot of speculation about your role as being one that won't be as significant. To some people are saying expectations of starter. Can you comment on what you're hoping and expecting?
For me, it never was issue, if I will be started or not. The way I look, if I see the constantly, playing time, whatever is, the time I'm on the floor, I try to do my best, and obviously if you do some produce, best thing for the team, you will deserve the playing time. This is why I'm looking at it, And like I said, it's with me, it's not all about the shot. I never believed that, because like I said, the basketball is not about one thing. And when you step up on the floor, you're gonna have some of those nights. You're not gonna make shot, but it's a lot of those things you can do. Just be more aggressive, defensively. And I'm not most defensive guy up there, but try to do my best, because in this league, I don't believe somebody can guard one-on-one. It's have to be all those 5 guys on the right page. That's why you call, defensive team. So we have to be on the right spot on the same in the same page. I think those teams were very successful during the season.
So training camp starts tomorrow, but you guys have kind of been working out already a little bit as mostly as a team. How has that helped you, as considering you haven't been on this team, played with a lot of these guys before, how has that helped you just integrate into the team heading into now training camp and the season starting?
Yeah, this is one of those things I was kind of, try to come up early, even before the, preseason starts, training camp starts. I was here like 2 weeks early, just kind of, meet the guys, just kind of get myself into it, because when you come up with a new team, new organizations, it will take time to kind of adjust to it. It's why I want to kind of speed up the process. It's I come a little bit early, start workout, and be honest, the organization, people who work for it, so far they were so great, and I already feel I was here like more than like those 2 weeks, and I already feel like a home. Hopefully, moving forward, it's gonna be the same all the time.
How has it been with Enes, being a fellow Turkey native?
I know Enes for a long time. As soon as I started playing, from junior team and stuff. I play with him. Never play on the same team, but we played once for the national team. I will say it's been a European Championship. This is 1 year I play with him. He's a great guy. Obviously a really skilled guy. He find his way into the league. He kind of knowing himself for something like he already did. Obviously he's a really good post-up player. He play tough all the time, and my relationships is always kind of always be on the same page with him. Like I said, he's a great teammate, and I'm glad we're the same team.
How does it help to have a coach like Adrian Griffin, who was with you in Milwaukee and also in Orlando? Does it help you any?
For sure, just see some familiar face, because in the last year I already changed 2 teams. Kind of, when you go whatever, it's a lot of new faces. But when you see somebody old face, you just go and talk to him. We kind of have common things. Obviously, being in Milwaukee, part being in Milwaukee for 3 years with him. Kind of, he knows what to expect from me. He kind of gave me that extra motivation, when I needed.
What did he help you with when he was a coach with you in Milwaukee? What did he help you with in Milwaukee?
When he was coach with Milwaukee, I just came from overseas. I played with Barcelona, and I just came. It kind of was was tough transition, from European to NBA kind of basketball. And he was, up there because he was playing. And I remember I played against him when he was a player, when my rookie year. And he knows better as far as just being in the right place, and the certain things you should react or not, kind of, because sometimes you're gonna hold 82 games, you're gonna have a lot of stuff just up and down, and he kind of give you that extra motivation.
Anyone else? Thanks.
What? I gotta hear this.
Josh, how are you approaching this season, given that there's an opportunity there to collect some playing time? How have you prepared in the offseason getting ready for this?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've been working really hard this offseason trying to prepare my body for a long season, and to be able to be somebody that can contribute every single day, somebody consistent, and just help the team win.
Did it help playing in summer league for the first time to actually get in and get some time there?
Absolutely. Any chance I have to step on the court and play a little bit, work on my game is always welcome, always exciting. So that was great. Helped me see things in my game that I could continue to work on.
Josh, you're kind of known as a versatile defensive guy. Over the summer, did you focus on any other skill sets to kind of bring to the roster going forward?
Yeah, I mean, obviously defense is my baseline, my staple. But then working on my shot, trying to become a more consistent shooter, being somebody that can knock down an open shot for the team, and then working on ball handling, driving to the basket, getting my athleticism involved in the game a little bit more.
Any other questions for Josh? Thank you.
That was tough.
Got grilled.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it, but I also.
I didn't know about it.
You're dismissed. No.
This is when you know he's not going to cross. Cool as this. He was just right over there, and then they could have.
I watched every single thing.
Nick, can you just talk about coming into this offseason for the first time without Kevin, and just what are your expectations of what you want to see from the squad?
Well, we have a lot of new faces. It's definitely a different feel. I think I'd answer honestly that I'm not sure exactly, what it's going to be like, because there is so much change. I know that we're still a very talented team. I know that we got really good players. I think it's we have one of the best in the league with Russell, and who's becoming a big-time leader for us. But I think for us, it's going to be like it always has. It's going to be about coming in, doing the work each day, and then figuring out the best way for us to play and how we can win games and build towards the end of the season, try to be the best team we can be at the end of the season.
Nick, have you have you seen a difference in Russ and his leadership with the changes?
Well, he's had a natural progression from the time he's gotten here. He's over the years he's really embraced being more of a leader and really a lot of his attention is to how are the other guys doing, how's the team doing, and I continue I expect that to continue. And we've only been here a few days, but yeah, he's got a great mindset right now, great attitude, ready to go. He's trying to help the guys and be a leader.
Nick, with Kevin going on, there's going to be new responsibilities on Russ on offense and defense. How does the team need to help him to make things easier for him?
Well, I think we have to be able to play in a way that's not just relying on him to do everything and create every single shot, whether it's him taking the shot or him making the play for another guy. So I think it'll start with the pace we play at and trying to get easy shots, and then being able to flow right into offense and being really able to execute and create shots on the offensive end. And then on the defensive end, I think, losing Kevin, losing some scoring, we're going to have to be really solid there every night. Our level of play has to be solid. We have to be very consistent, where every night defensively we're making it hard on teams to score, and we're giving ourselves a chance to win games.
Nick, you kind of just started talking about it, but defensively you guys are at least going to have a different identity this year because Serge and Kevin were just big parts of that. Mm-hmm. Where do you see you guys going defensively this year from just a stylistic point? Like, how do you think things are just going to look different?
Well, we got different personnel for sure, but I think the main tenets of the defense stay the same. It's being able to guard the ball, being able to help, being able to guard pick and roll, guard post-ups, those type of things. And we have to get really good at those things and be really solid and have 5 guys on the court really aware and communicating and being where they're supposed to be. And we're capable of being a really good defensive team. But you're right, not having Serge, not having Kevin, it's going to be a lot different. So we have to be able to figure out a way to keep teams from getting good shots.
Steve, Nick, I'm sorry. Last year, I asked Steven about halfway through the season about his progression to becoming that defensive captain that Perk was when he was here. He said he wasn't there yet. Throughout the playoffs, through this offseason, what have you seen from Steven to make you think that he's on his way to being that defensive captain?
Well, I think he's feeling more and more comfortable on the court and recognizes things on the court. I think that's a big part of it is for you to be able to be a really big-time communicator on the defensive end, you have to be really sure of what you're seeing and be able to get it out of your mouth to the other players. And a lot of times if you're unsure, it's hard to really communicate to the other guys. And I think with him, the more he plays, the more that he feels comfortable and being able to recognize things, he's communicating more and more. And I think, last year the playoffs were great for him. He got to play in a lot of situations and really is confident in what he's doing out there. He's not second-guessing himself. And he's still a really young guy and a relatively inexperienced guy. I mean, he's played a lot, but he's one of our most experienced guys, but he's only been in the league 3 years. I think this is his 4th year. So I just think he's going to get better and better as time goes on in that area.
Last season of your contract, do you feel like this is your last season?
I'm not sure. I think I've learned enough to know that you don't really know how you're going to feel in a year, and that's my mindset is really just I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be with the guys. I'm going to try to stay healthy and stay ready to play. It's an unknown for me on what my role is going to be. That's kind of the way it goes. But I think I want to be ready and prove I can still play. And then when the season's over, I'll see how I feel and go from there.
Nick, just personally, are you going to miss having Kevin around, you think? Yeah,
I mean, Kevin was a teammate of mine for a long time, a friend, a guy I really enjoyed playing with. Like all my other teammates that have moved on, I'm always going to appreciate their time here. And kept playing with Kevin was great for all of us, and we had a lot of success. So I'm definitely going to miss having him around. And obviously chose to do something else. And for us, it stays the same. The goal stays the same for us. We're going to try to put out a really good basketball team, get better every day, and go from there.
Do you communicate with him?
I haven't talked to him much. I talked to him throughout his decision-making process, and he sent a nice text the day that he decided to go to Golden State, and I haven't talked to him much since.
Hey, Nick. What are your initial thoughts on Domantas Sabonis, and do you see any attributes in him that you're looking for to be kind of the mentor as the veteran player towards him?
I've only been here a week, but he seems really eager to learn. I think he's got a really good mindset, especially for a young guy. He's got a good feel for how to play the game, especially for a young guy. And they really rave a lot about just his approach and a seriousness. He has a seriousness and work ethic a lot of young guys don't necessarily have yet. So I'm looking forward to trying to help him out. He's going to be playing, probably doing a lot of the same things I've done for a long time. So I'll do my best to help him out when I can.
Nick, when you see what's happening this week in Charlotte, what's happening in Tulsa with Terrence Crutcher, I mean, how does that make you feel about what's going on right now?
It's heartbreaking. It's really hard to turn on the TV and see these things happening and seeing so many people so frustrated, angry, sad, scared. And, I think the big thing that I would like for everyone to do is to just listen to each other, listen to these people are experiencing something that maybe we don't all experience, but to listen to them and try to do our best to find solutions to make it better. And I think, I support people who are protesting in their own way, and I support people who are trying to make things better. And I guess that's my take on it.
Yep.
Do you feel like a wily veteran now? It seems like we're seeing new faces, but you're one of the old ones.
I'm one of the oldest.
You're one of the old ones.
Oh, that's not good. No, I feel still young. I still feel young. Well, being around Nick, you always feel young, mate. You know, he makes you feel young. No, I feel normal, man. It's sort of the same. It's good having this different kind of approach to, say, Sabonis, who I have to kind of teach some new things. They're giving me a bit of responsibility to kind of teach them some stuff, so there's a big role in that. Kind of feel like a father. So congratulations to me.
Is that on the court, off the court?
That's both, on and off. Yeah, it's good stuff, mate. Dropping knowledge bombs.
A lot of people consider you to be the second best player over here, Steve.
Sorry, mate.
A lot of people consider you to be the second best player on the team. How are you going to handle that role this year? How do you see your role evolving?
Sort of same stuff, bro. You know, it's just I'm just going to show up and play, regardless, as long as we win the games. That's what it comes down to, eh? So, yeah, just keep that same mindset. I think it's sort of same with the team as well.
How long has it been since you cut your hair?
Oh man, I don't even know, man. I saved a lot of money though. Yeah, straight up. That's brilliant. That's the best part. That's what keeps me going. Yeah, probably like a year and a half or something like that, mate. Yeah, yeah, a lot longer than you.
You know, you lose KD, and it seems like the next best thing would be to bring in good players and for there to be a newness to this bunch. And it seems like there is that and some energy. Is that accurate?
To bring in good players?
Well, that there have been good players come in and that
Yeah.
there's a new energy with this bunch.
Yeah, there is. It's just there's a lot of excitement just because there is different players in our team and stuff like that. And yeah, what's brilliant is that they're cool off the court. That the chemistry off the court is really good, which actually helps a lot for on-court performance. So that's what the biggest takeaway for me was. They're all good dudes, solid dudes, and yeah, ready to get after it.
After a year with Coach Donovan and in this system, how much more comfortable are you with the ball in your hands on offense? I mean, I think we saw you do a lot of different things in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, just whatever he says, bro. I'll just give it a good crack at it. Hopefully it goes well.
How much more have you seen Russell kind of take more of a leadership role in the off season and working with you guys in California?
No, I mean, yeah, he does that every year. Honestly, I don't see no change, which is good. I'm not really good at, I mean, I don't really like when people have to react to situations because then it gives more chance for something to go wrong. And he's kept solid the whole time through from what I've seen this summer and stuff, and that's pretty much all we need. I mean, same guy, leadership role is always the same because he's captain anyway. You know what I mean? So it's all the same stuff, bro. And he holds everyone to a high standard, even himself to the highest standard. He's the hardest one on himself, and so that's all you could ask for from him, man.
Last year, there was a time, I think, might have been like January, where I asked you about your role as like the defensive anchor and then getting towards becoming kind of what Perk was when he was here.
A boy.
You said you weren't quite there yet. You went through an entire playoffs.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've made strides to getting towards becoming that defensive leader, that anchor that you want to be?
Yeah, I mean, I made some progress, which is always good. I mean, you do that. That's what you strive for, no matter how big or small it is. Just whatever progress it is. If you're saying if I'm close to what Perk is, then no. No, that's still a long way away. He's on another level with the defensive stuff, man. Yeah, I still got to do a lot more study, read some books. Yeah.
How does it change with Serge not here?
Yeah, that's going to be. I mean, it's just another. I mean, it's just another change, man. Yeah, just going to be another change. But I mean, we've dealt with a lot of different stuff as a team. Yeah, we can figure out a way. Either way.
Steven, so I'm wondering if you have been following Enes on his social media rampage this summer.
Rampage.
Total rampage.
Hot day.
And what your reaction has been to that, just watching him on Twitter as a close friend of his?
So he's on a rampage. So like what because I mean he's been all over the place, man. Can you specify like what exactly is he?
Couple funny tweets about Kevin Durant, some funny interactions with you and
yeah. Yeah, I mean he's always a I mean, he's an extrovert. He likes being out there and stuff. So, I mean, he's cool, but he's just having fun with it, man. It's nothing serious. He's just like a joking guy, you know.
I'm also wondering, you're eligible for a rookie contract extension, and is that something that you're thinking about heading into the season at all, or is it just something if it gets done, it's great and that's it?
No, that's all it is. You said it right there, man. It's just if it gets done, cool. If not, I'm still with the team right now, and so that's all that matters. Yeah, with the group of guys that we have now, I'm still a part of them, and we still have to go out and do work every night. So,
How hard are Joffrey and
sorry, mate.
Domantas, the new guys, how badly do they want to be Stash brothers like you and Enes?
How badly? Oh, man, I don't even know. Sabo hasn't said anything, but the big croissant, I think he's keen. Yeah, I think he's keen on being one of the bros.
Steve, in the back, sorry.
Oh, sorry, mate.
That's all right. Nick Collison referred to you still as kind of a young player going into the season still, but because of the loss of Kevin Durant and some scoring, do you see yourself kind of transitioning into more of a mentor role for some of the younger guys or some of the guys that haven't been here as long as you have?
Yeah, it won't be as much of a role as, like, say, Nick, for instance. It'll just be little tips here and there, you know. I mean, it's because Nick, he knows every single thing about what needs to be done and how to approach it. It's a lot more, his answers and his advice is a lot more well thought out than mine. Mine is just like top of the head, which is probably not the best all the time, rather than his approach, right? So I mean, I'll still give little tips if I can, but yeah, if that answers your question. Answered that, yeah, I'm good.
Steve, I've got two questions. First of all, what have you worked on to maybe expand your presence inside in the off season? And then second, you mentioned Russ appears the same to you, but he puts up big numbers every night. Do you expect that same numbers, maybe more offensively, or what from him?
Okay, first one, easy one. I mean, I've just been working on everything, bro. Yeah, I mean, it's same old stuff, bro. But to the second question, do I expect the numbers?
The same kind of output.
Who knows? Like that's where, because I'm not one to actually look at the numbers apart from just the old scoreboard and that, right? So all I know is that he's going to come in and just do what he does, however that is, and that's more of like a leadership. His effort is going to be there. He's going to do everything he can to win. That's what I can expect from him because he's done that for like his whole life. So other than that, the numbers will just be whatever you guys reckon they'll be. Yeah.
Steven, back here again.
Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say, it looks like the second Stash brother just joined us.
Get him out of here.
Are you guys planning on doing anything special for, I guess, NBA fans going forward? Because the Stash brothers extravaganza went kind of crazy last season, but you guys planning on doing anything else? More T-shirts, more whatever?
Oh, we don't even know. It kind of just happened, mate? Yeah, just came out of nowhere. Where do we go from here, mate? That's my question to you. Where do we go?
Make a lot of money from no endorsements.
From endorsement for mustache. So he's a business mind. Yeah. Shh. Yeah. Not sure where to go to from here, mate. We're just gonna. This wasn't like a plan to kind of try and go viral. This was just like just feel comfortable for me, and then it just became a thing. So yeah.
What's the worst thing about Enes Kanter?
The worst thing?
Come on, man. Don't ask for that, man.
Oh, where do I start?
Nothing.
The vast majority of things with him. Oh, relax, mate. It's a joke. Joking.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steven.
Cheers. Cool.
Good job, man.
Shut up.
Man. First
Hey,
question.
how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Great. Have you been able to communicate with your parents since
There you
earlier
go.
this August?
That's the first question you're asking me. Come on, man.
I'm just going to get it out of the way. But have you been able to communicate with your parents since earlier this summer when the news came out of the whole disownership?
No.
Okay. do you know if it was your family's wishes for that to happen, or if that was influenced in any way by the Turkish government?
Well, I think, okay, let me tell you this. This is a really, really confusing thing. I mean, if I sit here and tell you guys about it like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever, I understand you guys probably not going to understand it because I have to sit down and talk with you guys. So, I mean, if you guys don't mind, let's focus on basketball. But promise, in the future, we'll guys talk about it because it's a really crazy story, and we'll definitely sit down and talk about it.
Well, focusing on basketball, what has it been like to come back to basketball after having all of that go on in your personal life?
It's nice, man. You know, just I was so super excited when when my plane was landing in OKC. And I saw the city, I saw all the people walking around, I saw my teammates. It's just like, it's really nice that you're going through all this, things when you coming back Oklahoma and you seeing your family here. And I got, after all these things happened, people were like tweeting me and all this, sending me messages, hey, we have an extra bed if you want to come to join our family. We have an extra bed if you want to come. It's so nice to, just knowing that, just you have another family here. Because, I mean, this Oklahoma, gave me a lot. It's not about, playing basketball. It's not just all about, just making money, making basketball, whatever. This city gave me a lot. These fans gave me a lot, and just, I just can't, explain with the words how much they gave me.
Enes, do you see your role changing this season, considering the changes in the offseason?
Well, we'll see. I mean, that's the coach gonna make that decision. But whatever the role they gave me, I'm just gonna go out and do my job.
There was an idea at certain times during the season that you could have been finishing games instead of Serge. Do you feel like you're more comfortable finishing games now in the progress that you've made defensively?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel so much comfortable on the court, and I will always like to give the credit to my my teammates, my coaches, and the fans, and so they make me feel so much comfortable out there defensively and offensively. And so whenever I'm out there, I'm like, man, I can do this. I can finish the games, and especially on defensive end, like Spurs series. So I felt so much comfortable out there.
Enes, if you remember when you arrived with the Thunder for the first time, Russell Westbrook was kind of the go-to guy, the leader on the court due to injury. Have you thought back to that time going forward? Are you confident enough in Russell Westbrook's leadership with the team with the loss of Kevin Durant?
Well, I think he was leading. He was our leader last year too. Yeah, he was our leader last year too, and he helped us a lot. And you know what? The one thing is just he's leading this team really well, and I just love playing with him.
Do you think without Kevin and with all the new faces that it's going to take quite a while to find an identity for this club?
Well, I think a little bit. That's why we have training camp. That's why we have preseasons. But I think all these new faces, all these young guys, I think it's really exciting season coming up for us.
Enes, obviously it's a team that's full of big men. Just how do you think that's going to be an advantage for the Thunder coming into this year?
Well, I think like you said, we got a lot of big men, so that means we got a lot of physicality down the block. And I think the only thing we can do is just doing what I've been doing, just going out there, just be physical, and just bruise people, and just go out there and just play the Thunder basketball.
Well, at some point, the Bruise Brothers, will that be a new name coming out?
I have no idea, man. We got a lot of names now. Bruise Brothers can be it. Yep, Bruise Brothers can be it.
Cool.
And you've also, in addition to being the inside Bruise Brother, like we just described here, you've also shown the ability to step out to the three-point line.
Yeah.
Is that going to, do you see that continuing to evolve?
I think, like last year when I played with, Steven on the court, he was just a more roller guy, was the pop guy. So I was just spreading out from the staying in the corner, and he was rolling more. So I think that create more space for him and for Russell to, just going down the lane, just try to finish it. So I think it was pretty cool. Yes.
Speaking of your other stash brother there, how have you seen Steven develop and the time you guys have been together, and what do you expect from him on the
He
court?
just, one thing he's doing that I'm sure that he's just enjoying basketball, man. You know, he's working hard, he's enjoying basketball, and he just, he's just working hard and just going out there and doing his job. He doesn't worrying about, his stats, whatever. He just, just want to win. He just want to win and he just want the best he wants to be, and I think he's doing a really good job.
With Kevin and Serge gone, there's going to be a need for offense.
Mhm.
You're a great offensive player. With the power forward spot being open, do you feel like you want to go into that starting position, or do you feel comfortable in that sixth man role that you kind of carved out last year?
I think that is just what coach going to decide, and whatever they give me starting, come from the bench, I think our focus should be on the winning. I think we just have to just go out there. It doesn't matter. I think that's what playoff, taught me last year. You can be, selfish if you want to win a championship. So I think just, like I said again, of course, everyone wants to start. Everyone wants to play for 48 minutes. But if you want to win a championship, you have to give up some stats maybe. You have to give up minutes. And that's what we're here for, just to win.
And I know you've worked really hard on both sides of the ball just to get better. And I'm wondering, in the offseason, like defense is so much about playing within the team and being in the right spot. So in the offseason, when you're not with 9 other guys who you're going to play with, how do you work on, like, you can work on shooting, but how do you work on defense? And
I think I worked on the legs a lot. I think that's the key. Just just get faster. Side to side, and just get the legs stronger. That's what I was been working on. I met him now, but I never met him before. He was not. I don't really know him that well, but now I'm just trying to get to know him with all the jersey activity and stuff.
Anything else? Thanks, Enes.
That's it. That was easy, man. That wasn't that bad. This guy got me, but this guy got me. Talk about it later. Thank you, guys. Miss you. No, I'm good, man. I know he was coming. I was ready for that.
Then I'll report it and then I can text it to you. I can report and text to you. So you don't have to be rushed.
What's wrong? I can keep recording. I want to make sure that we have it just in case one of our phones gets right now. I've got time.
Andre is next. And then Kyle at 2:20. Then there's just 2:30. And Payne and Mitch McGary. Alex.
Friendly reminder that there's food and media dining for awareness until 3 o'clock. So you guys want to- hot dogs, snacks, traditional media. Yes, sir.
Like a few minutes behind.
Andre, just talk about coming into this year. What are your expectations on what you want to see from the Thunder?
This upcoming season, what are my expectations? For us to grow on and off the court as best we can, and to continue to carry on the Thunder organization, the values, and continue to grow in that area. I feel like we got a great group of guys that can go out there and, play hard every night and, and continue to grow as players and, get better every day. So,
how do you see the offense kind of changing and evolving with the offseason departures, and how do you see your role changing within that?
I see us moving the ball a lot more and running and gunning, and we got great guys that we kind of, put in different positions and, allow other guys to kind of step up and fill a larger role. And I feel like myself, Steve, Vic, all of us can, go out there and, Amo and go out there and, do so much more so to help the team out. And it's going to be a great year, great fun year, and I kind of showcase ourselves a little bit more and play a bigger role.
Andre, you've been all over the place this summer. Can you just talk about what you improved on in your game?
Been all over the place.
Yeah, you've been New Zealand.
Yeah,
you've been all over.
I mean, I feel like I worked on a little bit of everything, as well as from my jump shot to the dribbling and reading the game, and as well as trying to maintain and master my craft. I'm working on that each and every day. So I feel like I worked on every aspect of my game this year to kind of be put in and feel comfortable being put in situations. So should be good.
With Kevin and Serge gone, do you kind of feel like the defense has almost been handed over to you and Steven? Is it's kind of like your thing to mold now?
Definitely. Me and Steve, kind of being the backbone of the defense. Serge is also being known for being a defender. I feel like we definitely got to carry that on now. Kind of be the backbone of that. Like I said, just carrying on those values. And, guys left, and, I think it's our time to step up and kind of fill that role in the aspect of, being the leaders on this team now. Me and Steve going in our fourth year and kind of figuring out what it is, what the Thunder look for and value. So defense is definitely something we can definitely preach on in the locker room and stuff. So. All right.
There's a possibility you could move positions moving to the front court. Does that change anything for you at all in terms of what you have to do or the type of players you're going to be playing against?
I don't think so. The way I believe Billy wants to run the offense is he's not really labeling guys and positions. All the positions on the court are going to be pretty much interchangeable. We all have to know all the positions anyways to know what guys going to be at. So I definitely think it's going to be it's gonna be good in terms of ball movement and just cutting and a lot of that stuff. So it should be fun. I've yet to. Yeah, bigger players. I feel like I'm versatile enough to go out there and guard bigger players, smaller players. So I don't think it'll change in that aspect. I would still like to guard the best players. So I'll take on that challenge. So it should be good. Yeah. I also have a co-founder with Vic as well as being a defender. So it should be good.
You mentioned kind of the roles expand a little bit. Do you see Russ maybe trying to do more than usual, or what?
I don't think so. I think that's what people think. I don't think he is, to be honest with you. I think he's going to be more team-oriented and, sharing the ball is definitely a big part. And I kind of feel like he kind of sensed that last year in the playoffs. Ball movement is real key and, not caring who gets the credit of who's scoring. And that's the way you beat teams instead of, relying on stats and all that other stuff. And what doesn't really matter, if winning games really means that much, I think he'll do what's right. So.
You guys, you come back for training camp. Kevin's gone. There was kind of a cloud hanging over the organization for a while. Who kind of takes a leadership role as far as keeping the mood light? I mean, I know, Steven and Enes kind of do that. Mm-hmm. What role do they play in that? And a little bit further, who's kind of a guy that keeps you guys up or so far has kept you from maybe just coming back and feeling depressed, for lack of a better word?
I wouldn't say I came back depressed or anybody came back depressed. We definitely hurt, but I think it didn't last long. Because, we can't just sit there and pout about it. We got an upcoming season and, we got new guys coming in and draft night was coming up. So we got a lot to look forward to. And, we're not going to sit there and pout. We got to get better and, continue to move forward. That's how I felt. I don't know what other guys, but I talked to Nick. He kind of kept me. He kind of talked to me after it happened and, just kind of texted everybody and kind of keep them level-headed. So, I wouldn't say anybody was still hanging on to it or a cloud over the organization. I think we kind of let it go. We kind of moved on from it. There's nothing we can really do about it now but respect it. So.
You keep that huge stuffed animal from the fair the other day?
I definitely did. It's definitely by my front door, guarding the house as we speak. All right. Thank you.
You were drafted by Defender a couple of years ago. You've kind of worked with the organization, played with the Oklahoma City Blue the first year, and played overseas last year. We've seen some players in the second round, take the qualifying or the required tender just to get a chance to try to come to camp. So, what's been your thought process on working with the team throughout the past couple of years?
For me, it's been a good process. Just being more comfortable. My first year, just learning the game and being a professional. Second year, going overseas and playing was another learning experience. Now I'm back. Just feel more comfortable. Just more comfortable being here.
For those of us really been following the Italian Basketball League, we haven't really seen you since you were with the Oklahoma City Blue. How has your game changed in the last year or two?
I feel like I'm more of a leader on the court, more of a point guard, and have more confidence shooting the ball. Just when I'm open, shooting the ball and leading the guys in the right way to get wins. Overseas basketball is a lot different, so just going over there and learning and getting better really was the big thing for me.
What have you been able to pick up from Russell Westbrook so far, just being with the Thunder for, I guess, such a short time so far just this year?
Just the way he comes in every day and work, and how he competes on the court, and how he takes the game serious. So when he get on the court, it's time to work. And me, just learning things like that, coming in every day, and I know I got to compete against him, and I got to be ready to work.
Sam Presti spoke the other day about it being a very competitive camp. Obviously, there's a numbers game here, 15 guys on the roster. How do you feel your chances are on cracking the roster, and has there been discussion on what the future might include if you don't make the team coming out of training camp?
I feel good. I feel good about where I'm at. I don't really try to think about it. Just go in every day and do what I can do. Whatever happens at the end of the day.
Anyone else? Thanks, Imagine.
Thank you.
We'll talk later. Yeah. I know, we gotta talk later. We gotta talk later.
Which one? Oh, right, John. People don't understand rules. I understand what I'm breaking. That's the key. So, man, how you doing? I'm living. How you doing?
Hot dogs.
Yes, they have a green cows. Sometimes. Oh, really? I'm not that big. Only like the one.
Oh.
What's up, everybody?
All right, how you doing?
How you guys doing? Everybody good?
Good. Can you first explain why do you call yourself Mr. Feathery?
Okay, I'm gonna explain to y'all the meaning of feathery anyway. So, I mean, when you think of feathery, it's nothing negative. So, feathery is a positive lifestyle. It's better than better. It's better than great, but it's not heavenly. It's right under that. It's feathery. And I live a feathery lifestyle. So I'm the one and the only Mr. Feathery. So if you refer to me as Mr. Feathery, that's fine. Vic is fine. Depot, whatever you want to call me. But if you call me Mr. Feathery, then we're here. We're definitely here. Here.
All right, Mr. Feathery, then. What are your expectations for this upcoming season?
Say that again?
What are your expectations for this upcoming season?
I think the biggest expectation for me is just to win. My first 3 years in the league, I struggled at doing that. And I feel like I have a great opportunity here to be a part of something special, be a part of something bigger than myself, and to be a part of a winning situation. So I'm going to take full advantage of it. And I'm excited and I'm looking forward to it.
Have you thought about the difference of playing with Russ and Andre compared to what you dealt with in Orlando? How you're going to benefit maybe from more single coverage and not so much double teams?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to benefit. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to definitely free up a lot of situations for me. In Orlando, it was some double teams. It was some best defenders, definitely. But it definitely helped me, and it taught me how to manage, playing basketball and playing in the NBA. So I feel like the reason why it's happening right now and the reason why I'm here right now is because I'm more ready than I've ever been. So I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe there are no mistakes, and I know I know where I need to be. So like I said, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm very excited.
Victor back here. Go ahead. Okay, have you talked to Coach Donovan about what your role on the team is going to be?
A little bit. I just, going out there and doing a great job of creating for myself, but at the same time having that even balance of getting people involved. And, I'm looking forward to playing for Coach Donovan in general. I was definitely a huge fan in college. He didn't recruit me, though. But it's okay because, life has a funny way of bringing things back around. So if I would have went to Florida, maybe I wouldn't be here now. So it's pretty cool, man. I'm looking forward to playing for him, winning games for him, and running through brick walls for him.
Vic, can you talk about your training with Russ during the offseason and also how intense it was?
It's funny because last summer and last year I was thinking about, man, I got to find a way to get in the gym with that dude. Now I'm in the gym with him every day. So it was pretty cool to go out there and for him to just be able to take me under his wing like I'm his little brother. After we knew each other beforehand, but being with each other those couple weeks we just got even closer than we were before. So it's pretty cool to be able to go out there and see what an all-star, one of the best players in our league, how he works, and match it to what I was doing before, and see how I need to improve and see what I need to do in order to get better. And I've learned so much already just from being around him these first couple months. So that's crazy to see what it's going to be like after being around him a whole year. So I'm looking forward to it. It's I feel like we can do something special as a unit, and I just can't really if you guys don't believe how when I said like I literally thought about being here a year ago, and thought what it would be like to be on this team, and then for it to actually happen is a surreal experience, and I know that it's supposed to be the way it is now. I mean, that might sound crazy, but I'm definitely excited about it.
As excited as you are about playing with Russell and playing in this organization, any part of you regret missing the opportunity to play with Kevin?
I've known Kevin pretty much my whole life, and at the end of the day, like I said, I don't believe there are no mistakes. So everything happens for a reason. So at the end of the day, it would have been nice to play with him, but that's not what happened. So I can only control what I can control. So I've known Kevin before this. We had a relationship before this, so I wish him the best. I know he made the decision based on what he thought was best for him and his family. And at the end of the day, I'm just looking forward to this new situation that I'm in, this new door that I have to open, and this new opportunity that I have. So I'm looking forward to it, like I said before, and it's going to be very exciting, very interesting, and I'm just happy to be here. Oklahoma's it kind of reminds me of Indiana a little bit as far as like the town and everybody and how everybody's so welcoming and nice, and it's definitely something that I'm familiar with.
Can you be specific about how your workouts have changed and what it's like with Russell? I mean, we're not around, so we don't know what a summer workout that you guys would do. Can you be more specific? How it changed?
It was very intense. A lot of trash talking, a lot of pushing each other. But at the end of the day, you could tell that our mentalities are very similar in the fact that we both want to win. And
Victor, you're up for a contract extension. Has that?
Go ahead. My bad.
Has that come up in discussions, or are you thinking about that as you approach the season?
I can't control that. You know what I mean? So I'm only focus on controlling what I control and winning basketball games. I would love the opportunity to be here long term. I love this city. I know I'm going to love the organization. I already do, and I've only been here a couple of weeks. And so having that opportunity would definitely be a blessing. But at the end of the day, I only can control what I can control, so I'm just worried about winning basketball games and building a relationship with these guys so we can do something special this year.
Vic, how's your defensive game evolved over the last couple of years since coming into the league, and where do you think you fit into this team next to Russ in what could be like a really explosive backcourt?
My defense has definitely improved since I've been in the league. I think when I first got here, I was a gambler. I kind of like to do defensively. My first year here, I was trying to do things that I didn't have no business doing. But as the years went on, and I started becoming better because I was just solid. That's why I feel like I could be an elite defender, is because I don't do nothing out of the ordinary defensively, because that's when, if you hit and miss, then something bad always happens in this league. Always. There's not one time that I hit and miss, that I try to hit and I miss, and something good happen. But whenever I'm solid, everything good happens. So I think that's why my defensive skill set has grown throughout the years, not only in the NBA but throughout the years, because I just remain solid and try to do a good job of just buying into the defensive schemes and just doing my part defensively.
Victor, it seems like teams really covet that guy that can hit the three consistently and lock up on the other team's best offensive player. Is that the guy that you want to become in the league?
Interesting question. My answer to that would be I don't have any limitations for myself. So I don't just want to be a three-point shooter, and I don't just want to be a defensive stopper. I want to be one of the best players in this league. And in order to do that, you have to affect the game on both ends and do multiple things. Because if you look at all the special players in our league, they all do multiple things. They don't just do one thing great. They do a lot of things great. And in order for me to do that, I have to continue to keep working hard and work on my shooting. But at the end of the day, I can't limit myself. So I never have, and I don't plan on doing that anymore. So, or at all, period. So I'm just going to try to be the best Victor Oladipo possible and just continue to strive to be great. Now, if I come up short, then I know I'm going to die trying.
Pardon me if you've been asked this already, because
It's okay. No, you're good.
But Russell said that you two can be the best defensive backcourt in the league. Do you feel that way?
I definitely do. We're definitely going to have to buy in and night out. And I feel like we can do something special on both ends of the floor.
I know you've talked about this some recently, but how do you feel about things that are going on in this country, Charlotte, Tulsa, and if there are protests in this league, is that something you would want to be a part of or speak out in any way?
It's tough to watch, man. I can't even lie. It's tough. It's definitely tough to watch. It's almost like it's something new every day. But at the end of the day, the beauty about the United States is we all of us, even in this room, I wouldn't go out there and work on something that I'm not going to do in the game is basically what I'm telling you. And after working with Russ, I could see the intensity and how, how serious he was about his craft. But one thing that really stood out to me is that after guarding him for 3 years, I could see, why he's so effective at what he does. And I definitely stole that from him, and I'm going to take it and run as fast as I can with it. Questions? All right, y'all. Y'all be easy, man. Stay feathery. You can print that. See, even when you say it, it just makes you want to smile.
All right, guys.
Or somewhere in between. I'm sorry. 3. Yeah, what am I thinking? 1 and 4, 3 and 2.
What?
All right.
Oh, I thought you said he left. I was like, you went home?
Kyle, can you just talk about what you want to see from your game this year? How do you think it's improved?
Say again. Yeah. When that time comes. Yeah. Say it again.
Okay. How do you think that your game has improved since last year?
Spent a lot of time in the gym this summer, building skill, learning how to move better. So hopefully my defense is on another level. And just, working on my shooting, body, working on my body. So just everything. There's not really one aspect of my game I really wanted to improve on, but the thing that I really wanted to see growth in was my body movement, being able to be out on the court and defend multiple positions.
Last season was a down year for you. Have you approached this season any differently than last year, or do you think it was like a fluky shooting year? How do you justify last year to yourself?
I don't need to justify it. I am approaching it different. I can learn a lot from last year, so my game routine will change. How I approached my summer was different. I want to help out this team as much as possible, so I'm constantly trying to think of new ways to do that.
What are the impressions you have on Victor Oladipo?
Expectations for him? Impressions? Victor's a great guy. Hard worker, very competitive. He wants the best for the team, which is a great characteristic. He'll be great for this team. He'll fit in really well, and I think he'll be great.
Kyle, you said you're approaching this year a little bit differently. What are you doing differently? What are the adjustments?
Well, just how I approach each thing, my training. Can't really get into everything, but how I spend my time on the court, my preparation will change. I'll spend more time in the weight room. Before games, my routine will be different. I'll spend time away from the game. I'll be doing a lot of float tanking, meditation, clearing my mind, just trying to get myself to be able to perform to the best of my ability.
Kyle, you changed to number 15. What went into Depot getting number 5, and why number 15?
I'm a nice guy. I decided to give it up. Yeah, and he wanted it, so yeah.
You said float tanking and meditation. What is float tanking?
Float tanks, I don't necessarily think it's a new thing, but a lot of people are getting into it. It's a tank. You get in, close it. There's different styles of tanks. It's mainly for meditation to sensory clearing. It's filled with salt too, so you're in maybe a foot of water. It's good for your skin and muscles. It's just a different way to relax, different than a massage or stuff like that. And there's different ways to float as well.
So last season, mentally, did you feel off? Did you feel a need for this meditation? And why is that going to be a factor in your improvements this season?
For sure. Yeah, I think last year, there were moments where I felt overwhelmed, stressed out, not really doing the things that I wanted to do. So mentally, I needed to get to a different place, just a different space. And did some research, found this float tank, and I did a lot during the summer, and I really noticed a difference. Felt different. So I continued to do it, and, we'll see how it goes.
Anyone else? Thanks, Kyle.
Appreciate it.
Questions for Cam?
My foot's feeling pretty good. Starting to get back out there on the court. So I'm definitely happy.
What do you think is going to be the hardest thing for you to adjust to after having surgery and everything?
Just getting a good feeling, jumping off of it. But besides that, I mean, once you get down the court, it's really hard to think about it. But just trying to get some lift, that's really the main thing.
What do you think about the addition of Oladipo on the team?
I think that was a big time move for us. He's a combo guard, can run the one, can do the two, can do the three. I feel he's a very dynamic guy, very explosive, and he can shoot the ball. I mean, like I said, it's gonna be a big time addition for us.
I know you talked a little bit about one of your goals this summer being putting on some muscle. Is that something you feel like you accomplished even with the injury?
Yeah, I feel like I did accomplish that, but I think I still need to get a little bit more weight at it, just because I'm just a little guy, and I don't really like getting beat up like that. So I don't like being injured neither. So I feel like putting on a little bit more weight, keep it away from injuries.
How much did you put on this summer, and what's the goal? I mean, how much more are you looking to do?
I put on 10 pounds this summer. I'm trying to at least 15, 16 pounds, but just all muscle. I've been getting a little chubby sitting down with the foot injury, so I'm trying to lose that and turn it into a little muscle.
Was it your choice to play in the summer league, and how did that experience impact your game?
Yeah, it was my choice. Just because I didn't get to play the first time when I first got drafted because I was injured. So I wanted to play. I felt like I had to prove myself, something to prove. So.
Have you talked to Coach Donovan about how your role might change this coming season?
Not really. It's kind of hard to really talk about it since I haven't been practicing or anything. But I feel like whatever role he has me do, whatever role I get put on to, if it's being the 15 player at the end or is it even starting, whatever role it is, I'm all for it. But besides that, just trying to get better every day, trying to get back in the swing of things, period.
How long are you going to let the hair go?
Wow, it's crazy. A lot of people ask me that question. I didn't think that was a big thing, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it grow one more season, and then after that, I think I have to change it up a little bit. Out of all the questions, that might be the one I can't answer for you. Yeah, I got to. I gotta wait for it until the first game of the season.
Yeah, we saw some of your fashion sense this summer. How much did that pull from Russ?
A lot. Russell, man, he has a very unique style, and I really like fashion myself. Like he said, swag daddy. That's my motto. Just to try to be swag with everything I do. So if it's fashion on the court, anything, I just try to look the best at doing it.
Cam, when exactly did you and the team know that you had a broken foot last season?
Well, it wasn't broken. There was just a little crack. I found out late December, and they said it was tolerable, so I could play through it. And I was all for that. I done had this little injury for a long time, and this summer was a good time for me to get it fixed. But I wanted to play through it. I didn't want to get surgery during the season. I wanted to play summer league, and there was enough time. Like now, I'm on the way back, and I'll be able to be ready for training camp.
Thanks, Cam.
Thank you.
Yes, let's see. Mitch. No. Alex. They keep them out of order.
Yo. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? I'm sure you guys are excited to talk to me. Right? Am I right? Okay, what's up, man?
Mitch, can you kind of describe to us what caused the second suspension, the second one?
Just not being compliant in the program. And I can just leave it at that. It's kind of private. I'm in the drug program for failing drug tests, and to be in compliant, you have to take a certain amount of tests, and I did not do that. So, second suspension was issued. So, but since then, I've turned a new leaf. I'm not afraid to talk about it. Yes, I messed up. Yes, I'm taking responsibility. I'm sober, just trying to turn a new leaf and move past this. This is something that I need to do for myself and focus on myself if I really want to have a career here in the NBA. I apologize to myself, foremost, my family, my parents, but also the organization, just the community of Oklahoma City. I do think that I let them down. Just because of the actions that I have made. But I don't think this defines me as who I am. You guys know I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, and nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, but I think it's really going to determine on what I do from now, and that's going to really determine me as a person and how I respond to this. So taking fully all the actions to move forward, move past this, be compliant in the program, and obviously take the suspension. But right now, I don't want to be a distraction to this team, and that's the only thing that it is right now. I know I'm suspended. Nothing I can do about it right now except work hard and, like I said, move past it and never let it happen again.
You talk about your NBA future. Do you feel like your NBA future is with this franchise?
Right now, I do not know. I don't have those answers for you. I would love to stay here. We just had a little conversation. I'd love to stay here and play here. With new guys coming in, it would be very tough for me to get minutes here. I'd love to stay with this organization. This is hands down the best organization that that treats for you, cares for you, does everything for you, pretty much hand feeds you. And I've known that from guys around the league have said, this is the organization to be with. So I obviously don't want to leave. But if someone's willing to give me an opportunity to play, I just want to play ball. That's it. Enough with the shenanigans. I messed up in my career in college. Now I'm kind of messing up my career here. But I've always gotten over that adversity, and that's what makes me a stronger person. And I think I've grown from this, even though it's only been a few weeks since I've got handed the other suspension. I'm not saying it's not in my head, because it is, but I'm just trying to move past it, just quickly and move on and be a better person and just play ball. I haven't played ball in a while, so you guys don't even know what I can do out there. It's a lot of fun though when things get going, because I'm a hell of a ball player.
Mitch, unfortunately, you've had a lot of injuries the past couple of years that have kind of set you back. And, we're all human. Did that play a part in maybe some of the relapse, some of the lead to the drug suspension?
I don't think so. I mean, it was just my own mistakes. Getting caught up with the wrong crowds. I can't do that though. At my age, being in this business, you have to be professional. And like I said, I made a few mistakes. Everybody's human, but right now I'm just trying to move past it and not focused on the past.
Mitch, what's the process been like for you after the suspension, just on a personal level? I mean, what kind of have you gone through with family or friends or whatever else? It's been very strict. I just have a very strict schedule. I'm just trying to get back into playing shape right now and just try and play. Everything else doesn't need to be worried about. I'm just going home, sleeping, waking up, eating right, working out twice a day, going back home, talking to my family, my mother and father, big support system. Love them dearly, and they're really helping me get through this. So it's been a lot. It's been very tough mentally. A lot of people don't know what it's like to go through this. A lot of players have been in the program. They know what it's like. They've failed drug tests before. So I've reached out to other players to try and get help, because it's difficult and you can't go through this on your own. And what I've just tried to do is just try and lean on some guys who've been through here, on some counselors, talk with our team doctors, and really just try and turn a new leaf, man. I'm really motivated right now. I don't know if you guys can hear it in my voice, but this is probably, I feel like sometimes you have to get knocked down in order for you to jumpstart something. And I don't know what it did. Obviously suspension, it sucks, but I'm really motivated right now, and I just want to play ball. I know the suspension is still there, but just trying to move past it and be ready to play.
You mentioned getting caught up in the wrong crowds. Have you made any changes to the people around you or the things that you do on a daily basis?
Yeah, I'm just hanging around with our guys now a lot more. Last year and the year before, I didn't really just kind of do my own thing. I'm very social, so sometimes it hurts me when I go out and meet people that aren't the best influence on me. And sometimes you gotta kick people out of your circle, and sometimes you gotta add people. So lately I've had to not necessarily say kick them out of my entire life, but I just can't be around them certain people at the majority of the time. So.
Anyone else?
Are there any players on the team in particular that reached out to you?
Yeah, everybody did pretty much. Kevin did before. He's not here anymore, but I talk to Kevin quite often. He reached out to me. Russell did. Victor, most of the guys on the team, Nick, Nazi last year. Just, they know I'm better than this. They know this is not like me as a person. But like I keep saying, nobody's perfect. Everybody's gonna make mistakes. But I just don't want to let this define me as a player. A lot of people talk about Chris Anderson and how he had a drug problem early on, but they don't talk about that. They talk about Chris Anderson as an NBA champion. And this is what I want to do. I want to turn my life around. I want to turn the page. And, eventually I want to be an NBA champion, whether it's this year, next year. I just want to play ball. So that's it. Cool. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Yep.
Just talk about this. What are your expectations? First year with the Thunder, first year in the league. What do you want to see from yourself?
First of all, I'm just very happy to be part of our organization. I'm very lucky, and I just got to get better every day, work on my game, and when I have the opportunity to come out, just help the team to win. That's the most important thing.
Do you see yourself playing more of the 4 here in Oklahoma City?
Haven't talked to the coaches yet about my role. Tomorrow starts training camp. Hopefully I'll learn a lot more about it. But whatever the coaches want me to play, I'm going to come out and try and do my best and help the team win.
With basketball being your legacy in your family, how does it feel following your father to the NBA now?
It's awesome, but I still have a lot to improve, a lot to do, and I'm just, like I said before, I'm just here trying to get better.
How surprised were you whenever the trade went down on draft night that you're coming to Oklahoma City instead of a team like Orlando?
Everything happened really fast when I was there. I was just really excited. My whole family was there to support me and be there with me, and I was just really happy. I was drafted, and when I found out I came to Oklahoma City Thunder, I was even more happier. I've heard so many great things about this organization, and I'm just happy to be part of it.
How did playing for the national team over the summer kind of help you out, get you prepared for this coming season?
I think it helped me a lot. Keeping in shape, working on my game all summer, and then playing the Olympics is something special, especially representing my country. And then playing against high-level athletes and great players was really helpful.
How did also, like, you've played pro ball before and been around pros, not just with the Olympics but in Spain. How does that help from a lifestyle perspective, just kind of not always playing with, just kids your own age?
I think it's helped me a lot. I've always been the youngest on the team growing up, and just being in that situation, I think maturing at a young age really helped me, and learning how to take care of myself. And I think it's just helped me so far. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Hello.
Alex?
Hi.
Was there ever a thought or worry from you that you wouldn't ever make it to the NBA or to the Thunder?
No, I mean, it was a tough decision because like I don't like changes too much. So since I was playing in Malaga, city in the south of Spain, 2 years, then I moved to Barcelona. It was like a tough decision. This one it was even bigger. So that's why it takes me too long, like 3 years from the draft, to make the decision to come over. So, but now I'm here and I'm really happy. So.
How do you feel physically? I know in the Olympics you missed a game. Was that some of a similar injury that you had when you were in Barcelona?
No, it was completely different. It was like a hit. They said like it was like a hit, and then I got like 2 days off, just because I don't know how to say in English. En español, es como por precaución, like precaution, like yeah. So it was not like a big deal. I'm perfect. My left knee feels perfect right now. So I'm a little bit tired because I don't know if you seen a lot of Spanish league, but we ended like almost in July, and then we started like the training camp with the national team. So this summer I had like maybe 10 days of holidays. So it's been a tough summer, but ready to start training camp tomorrow.
Alex, we'd like to all get this right. Can we get the correct pronunciation of your last name, please?
Yeah, Abrines.
Abrines. Is that with a kind
S,
of a
like what?
Kind of like an SH at the end?
No,
or just,
it's just S.
Okay.
Yeah. Abrines. Alex Abrines.
I mean, what expectations do you have for yourself in your first season with the Thunder?
Well, I know it's going to be tough the first year here. You guys play here different way that we play in Europe. So I think I'm going to push myself to the limit. I think in the beginning of the season, maybe I don't play that much, but I will work to like the end of the season, like the important moments, to be on the court and just help the team as I can.
You talk about how the season ends late for you, and then you go to the national team, and now you're here, and this is a longer season than you've played in before. Are you doing anything different to try to maintain, like conditioning wise, to try to maintain for an 82 game season, or is it still just the same process?
No, I started I've been here for like 2 weeks. I would say 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, and I've been working out with all those guys from the Thunder, and just getting used to the physicality of the game here. So I will work on that through the next weeks and months.
What are your first impressions of Oklahoma City so far?
It's a different city than Barcelona. I mean, no, I'm really like calm guy. So I think this city is fixed perfect to me. So the lifestyle also is different. So first days I was a little bit confused. Here you gotta drive everywhere. There in Spain you just walk, or you have the train, or so it's kind of different. So I missed Spain, but also it's a great city and great people. Yeah.
How helpful is it for you to have a guy like Sabonis on the team who you know from Spain? Y'all played together at Malaga for a little while, and I guess he knows Spanish too since he grew up there. How helpful is that for you?
Really much. I mean, when I realized that Thomas was playing for the Thunder next year, back in summer, that was one of the things like make me change my mind and maybe come over. Because it makes the things more easier, if you have something, somebody in this case. And well, I know it's his first time in the NBA, so we'll go through together.
Do you have an expectation in terms of playing time, how much you want to play?
I don't know. I want to play like 48 minutes, but I know it's going to be tough. There's like a bunch of players, like they're really talented and good. So I don't know. Actually, here it's different because you have like 48 minutes. Back in Europe, you had like 40. So I will not put like any number, but as much as I can.
Any players on the team that you're leaning on in particular? There's a lot of guys that have made the jump from Europe. Has anybody reached out to you?
For the European players? No, I've been talking to Urson a lot because he played for Barcelona, but not about basketball stuff. Just like how it's there and if he speaks Spanish or something. So just Gerson and Thomas.
Anyone else? Thanks, Alex.
Thank you so much.
That's our good.
That's my life. I think I got it together and everything goes spinning out. No, that's yours. He's got a bunch of stuff in
That should be everybody, guys. So thank you guys for coming out. You're welcome to stay as long as you want. But you talk to the player, you miss it. I'll tell you funny stories. You were out. We knew it was